guys, how are you? This is Jim from the Pain PT, and today we're going to talk about how to navigate the rocky road of recovery, which it can be for a lot of people. And when I work with people, sometimes I say, look, give yourself a year of working this process to see where you're at, okay? Because during that year, a lot of times we see the ups and downs, and people may want to give up or revert back to old beliefs that there's something structural, or fall back into their old patterns. Now, I want you guys to know that the road to recovery is often very rocky, and it's sort of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Sometimes it may feel like you're taking 2 steps backwards and 1 step forward. But what we're trying to do is implement in you guys, I've been talking about this path here. This is called graded gradual exposure. Okay, what the chronic pain pathway, as we know from all the research, is this. This is the roller coaster. I feel good, I do a lot. I feel bad, I do nothing. I feel good, I mentally feel good. I feel physically bad, I mentally feel bad. Now, we're trying to break this connection. Now, you guys need to understand that when you're maybe having a couple good days, and then all of a sudden you get slapped in the face or slapped in the body with your symptoms again, and it can feel like it comes back even stronger. That is coming back because of either a conditioning pattern, which a lot of you guys have because you've had pain for a long time. Chronic pain is meaning lasting longer than 6 months. And that develops an associated pattern in the brain quite quickly. Anything that's aversive or uncomfortable can become associated with certain movements or postures or positions or even thoughts around doing something. So we're up against a very real pattern called a conditioning pattern. We also may have had a couple good days, and then we're triggered by some stress again, or an emotion pops up and we're not handling it very well, and the natural course in our body is that emotions come out physically. That's TMS or alexithymia. So there's a couple things that can happen. Either it's a conditioning pattern or there is some type of stress that's come up that's created some symptoms again. Now, the most important thing for you guys, you got to understand, is this is when the rubber meets the road. This is when you need to double down on what you're learning here with me or with other coaches or from the TMS world, is you cannot give in, you cannot revert back to your old patterns, because then you're doing this again. You're caught in this, and this is the endless cycle, the endless loop of chronic pain. Okay, I'm always telling people, look, I'm working with people to teach them the skills of how to use this stuff when the game is on. Okay, the game is on when your pain is up or your symptoms are up. When you're feeling good and feeling great, you're good. You don't have to do a lot of this conscious work. But when you're not feeling very good, this is when you need to implement the tools and the skills we're learning here and not revert back into the old pathway or patterns of what we do, whether that be to catastrophize, whether we get into fear avoidance cycles, whether we become hypervigilant, whether we beat ourselves up, whether we start doubting again. All these things are going to just reinforce the old pattern. Now remember, the pattern is rearing its head again because that's what it is. It's just a pattern. It's not going to let go quite so easily. The answer here is we have to consistently, each day, show the brain that we're okay. And this is mentally. We talked about talking to the brain. Emotionally, we've got to feel our feelings. Physically, we've got to challenge the things we're avoiding. That's fear avoidance. It's a very real cycle, guys. It's been studied in a lot. It can cause pain by itself. This is the cycle of fear avoidance. Okay. Now, also in the psychological world, they talk a lot about ISTDP here, reaching through resistance. This is some of the work I studied. They talk about this, what's called the punitive king retaliates. It's quite interesting because the punitive king is a part of your own psyche or subconscious mind, does not want to let you succeed or have success. Okay, they mentioned here that the patient may have limited capacity to tolerate feelings in rage. And the unconscious, it basically talks about how these people some of these patients can worsen with supportive care. So what happens here is that the positive feeling that someone's getting must be punished. Okay. The man's psychic structure is like a paralyzed prisoner deep in a dungeon ruled by a punitive king. Positive feelings about progress are causing alarm in the castle, and the punitive king is retaliating. Okay, and they talk a lot about the psychological thing here, about how the punitive king needs to self-punish. Okay, so when we start having success or start doing well for some people, that's when they get hit with their symptoms, okay? Because the punitive king, as they talk in psychological terms, or the psyche or the conditioning pattern, is rearing its head again and trying to press you down, trying to stop you. This is when you need to step up your game of what we're learning and continue to move forward. These are when you can get breakthroughs. These are when you can make more progress, okay? We don't want to withdraw and pull back again, get into the old patterns of negative thinking, putting ourselves down, doubting the process. All that's doing is reinforcing the pattern. It serves the purpose of the pattern, and then you're back where you started. Okay, so again, our approach is this: graded, gradual exposure, consistently in the same pathway, regardless of the symptoms. That's called the outcome independence. It's a real term. Outcome independence is when you're independent of the outcome. You're independent of the pain, the symptoms, because you know what this is. You know it's TMS, it's mind-body symptoms. It's nothing to do with a structural issue or an acute injury that you need to tend to or be careful with or slow down with, okay? The whole process here is to get you guys to be able to tolerate and handle the strong feelings in your body, whether they're emotional feelings or pain feelings or both, symptoms, that you can handle those and not be pushed around by them, not be controlled by these things anymore, okay? To be able to have the capacity, window of tolerance, the ability to handle them. So we're letting this stuff move through us. We're over here, this is us, we're stable, we're strong, we're firm, we're calm, and all this crap over here can just pass through us. Okay, we're not trying to push this back. We're not trying to push this back. Okay, we're not trying to run away either. Again, that's fight, flight, or freeze up and just be stuck here, immobilized. These are the patterns we have to break to succeed. These are the patterns we have to break to be free of this punitive king who is self-punishing us. Okay, we punish ourselves too. Many people punish themselves through their own thinking. They drive in blame, shame, my fault, beat themselves up, self-criticize. We need to stop that, okay? The last thing we want to do is criticize ourselves. We need compassion, self-compassion, love for ourselves, surrender, ease, soothing, calming, okay? We need more of that to go against this punitive king that's rearing its head again. So I just want to talk to you guys about this because I want you to know the road can be rocky. It can feel like an up and down, but remember, what's up and down are the symptoms and the feelings. What's consistent is you. You are consistent in your approach. This is what will break the up and down roller coaster cycle of chronic pain and chronic symptoms. Okay, guys, rate your comments, questions. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.